GhostWolf Live. Okay, so those of you that have been long-time listeners, you already know my story. You know that I'm Blackfoot and Cherokee on my mom's side, and a little bit Navajo, and then a whole bunch of different type of white people on my dad's side. And I'm very passionate about my Native American heritage. You also know that I've been a paranormal investigator for 30 plus years, a practicing medicine man who performs house cleansings, among other things. You know all this about me already. What you should know, what I hope you know, is that when things happen that concern indigenous people, especially Native Americans, I really take it to heart. And something just happened. And it angers me, it makes me sad. But it brings up some questions too. And what I'm talking about is, you probably haven't heard, because of course, no major news outlet reported this except for the BBC, who was, quite frankly, the only one that had the balls to do so. In Canada, and you can look this up, just type in what I'm about to tell you. In Canada, at these, it's actually more than one, I think it's like 3 or 4 now, different Catholic churches where they had these, what they called reform schools. They found the graves of over 1,000 indigenous children. That's enough right there. If you're any kind of human being and you're honest with yourself, that right there should be enough to upset you, at least on some level. But the story doesn't end there. In response to this, somebody burned down 2 of those churches. Now, from what I understand, nobody was inside when they burned. But I don't condone that, really. I don't. I understand the anger behind it. But I don't condone it. Okay? That was the wrong thing to do. And here's why. It wasn't the actual burning down of the church, the destruction of those churches that upsets me. I think they should have been bulldozed, honestly. It's not even the fact that somebody was angry enough about this that they would burn down those churches. Because, like I said, I understand that anger. What upsets me is the possibility that the people in power can call it an uprising and strike back. Number 1. And number 2, any chance for any kind of reparations by this tribe called the, I believe they're called the Cowresses, tribe, are pretty much done with. Like, there's no hope for any kind of reparations for them because of those churches burning down. Because whether they were behind it or not, I half expect that whoever burned it down were not even native. Because just like when people in our country, in this country, the US of A, got upset about the name of certain sports teams like the Redskins, the Atlanta Braves, the Cleveland Indians, it was white people getting upset about that. We don't care. In fact, it's kind of an honor that these highly athletic sports teams would choose us as their symbol, as what they're symbolic of. But I digress. What truly pisses me off about this is we have now, and we have had those schools in this country. And let me explain what these fucking schools are, people. Okay, if you're white, if you honestly, if you're white, you probably don't get it. So I'm going to explain it to you. Imagine, if you will, that at a very young age, we're talking from like kindergarten age up, you're not asked to, you don't have a choice. You are forced into a school where you're taught that you have to use an English name, where you're taught that you cannot practice your own culture, and where you are taught you cannot speak your own language. Okay, so imagine that, where everything that makes you you is not allowed. And we're talking ages like 5 or 6 and up, through like high school years. Okay? Add to that if you do any of those things, like I just mentioned, like using your own name, practicing your own culture, or speaking your own language, you are punished. Sometimes so severely that the child in question dies. And then on top of all of that, imagine that you were there completely against your will and the will of your parents. Because that's exactly what happened. These children were taken against their will, against their parents' will, and without their knowledge. They were usually kidnapped in the middle of the fucking night and forced into these schools to live there year-round until they either escaped or were let go. And when they were let go, it was usually because they were fucking white at that point, basically. Because that's what these schools did. It taught native children how to be white. Okay? So, picture all of that, and then you add to that these are hardcore fucking Catholics running the school. And we know what Catholics are like when it comes to corporal punishment in schools, don't we? Anybody that's ever been hit by a ruler by a nun knows about corporal punishment. But you step that up a level because these are white people who are Catholics that are running these schools that already, in most cases, see Native Americans as subhuman. Therefore, do not have the rights of a human being. Do not fall under the same rules as a human being. We can do whatever we want. 1,000 children. And that's just what they found. And that's only in Canada. We have those fucking schools here too. How many fucking more kids are we about to find here? You think our fucking anger isn't righteous? Isn't fucking justified? Then fuck you, you're racist. Because what makes the anger of a white man or a black man more fucking important than mine? I'll tell you, nothing. Do they have a fucking point? Yes, they fucking do, and I fully support Black Lives Matter, by the way. Any decent fucking human being should. Because that shit has to stop, and it's been going on for far too fucking long. But it's not just with fucking blacks, people. For starters. Secondly, as bad as they've had it, we've had it worse. Our whole fucking land was taken from us. They've committed genocide on us since the start. Entire fucking... Understand this. When I say Native American, that is an all-encompassing thing. That is anybody that's indigenous to North America. That's First Nations people in Canada. That's Aztec, Incan, and Mayan descendants in Mexico. That's this whole continent. Alright? Native American. Our land was taken from us. They committed genocide on us. They raped our women. And this is not just some far-removed fucking thing, by the way. Shit like this and worse still fucking goes on. There are 250 fucking Navajo women and other southwestern tribal women that have gone missing since the 1970s that have never even been fucking investigated by any branch of law enforcement. Go ahead, tell me I don't have a right to be pissed off. Shit has got to change. It has got to change. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, white man's the devil. No. It's not, well, yeah, okay, white man in the sense of the people in power that are allowing shit like this and even encouraging shit like this to fucking happen, yeah, they're the devil. But I don't mean white people as in Caucasian, because some are, some aren't. Like anybody else, like any other race. You're going to find assholes of every color. You're going to find assholes no matter what. It doesn't matter the color of the fucking box it came in. But, having said that, oh, and don't get it twisted, by the way, there's fucking racism on our fucking side, too. We're not fucking perfect, let me tell you. I got picked on as a kid because I passed for white. Because I'm part white. My daughter gets picked on social media because she looks white, because she's part white. So, it's everywhere. But it's got to fucking stop. The hate behind it has to stop. The fucking anger behind it has to stop. And the only way it's going to stop people of every color, of every creed, of every religion, of every sexual fucking orientation, please, for the love that is holy, fucking listen to me right now. If we don't fucking band together and snuff out that fucking evil that is in charge of making these fucking decisions, nothing is going to change. And I'm not talking about our president, by the way. Although he might be evil. I don't know. He can't be any fucking worse than the last guy. I'll tell you that much. And keep in mind, I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm not fucking independent or liberal or whatever the fucking goddamn label you want to label me. I'm all about getting the fucking job done. How about we fucking do that shit for once? Instead of fucking worrying about what party they're with, how about we get the guy that's going to do the best fucking job? Why don't we give that a shot? Huh? But no, I fucking say something negative about Trump, who, by the way, fucking earned it, and my own family turned against me. Well, I should say not my family, people I happen to be related to. And to them, I gotta say this. I love you, I do, from the bottom of my heart, but when it comes to this shit, fuck off. Because whatever my fucking opinion is, you should not fucking act that way. You can disagree with me. I don't have a fucking problem with that. When you're sitting there using it as a means of trying to fucking tear me down fucking personally, motherfucker, you are about to start a fucking war that you cannot fucking handle. That's the God's honest fucking truth. Have a difference of opinion if you fucking want. But when you attack me personally, fuck off. Fuck you. Good night. But realistically, people, this is what I'm fucking saying. We're allowing our fucking differences to separate us. We need our differences to fucking unify us. We need to stand fucking together and fucking change how this shit goes down. Because I guarantee you these motherfuckers in the FBI or whatever fucking alphabet fucking agency that are in charge of investigating 250 missing women in the Southwest that aren't doing their fucking jobs, I guarantee you if we stood together they would have no fucking choice. If we fucking stood together, instead of letting all of our fucking differences separate us, everything would have to fucking change. I don't know how much more I can fucking say this shit. This is not what I do, by the way. I'm not a political guy. I don't give a shit about politics. I truly fucking don't. But it amazes me, it beyond fucking amazes me, that people, real life, goddamn average, fucking somewhat intelligent people in this fucking country in particular, are so concerned with what their party's doing that they will only fucking vote for their party, even if it's a fucking douchebag. Stop that shit. First off, I got news for you. We're not a fucking bipartisan country. It's not just Democrats and Republicans here. So we seriously need to change the way our fucking thinking goes when it comes to fucking election time. You really want every fucking vote to matter? Stop excluding everybody else. Because I can guarantee you it's sending the wrong fucking message. It's sending the message that we don't give a shit about getting the job done. We just want our party to be in control. Fuck you. Fuck you. Go walk off of a fucking cliff, motherfucker. Because let me tell you something. The people that founded our fucking country were rebels. They were fucking rebels. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson stood united despite their fucking political differences against the goddamn British. And see, this is why it makes me fucking cringe every time some otherwise lovely human being says the words, well, I don't care about history. Fuck you! You better fucking care! Don't you know that if we don't learn from that shit, we will just keep repeating it? Oh, I don't know, like we are right fucking now. Our country started because we allowed fucking tyrants to control us. And we said enough. We said enough. Let me ask this, people. When are we going to get together and say enough? When? What more are you going to let them do to us? What more? You realize that the poverty level is greater now, today, in 2021, the poverty level is greater than it was in 1930s era America during the Great Depression. The only reason why people are not fleeing the Midwest like they did in the 30s is because we have more infrastructure now. That's it. That's the only reason. We have more infrastructure now in 2021 than we did in the 1930s. No surprise there. Infrastructure grows exponentially with the population. That's how it goes. But we are poorer now than we have ever been. As a whole. We are poor now. Which is really sad because the last guy that was a president in this country was a billionaire. You would think that guy would know how to make money. Just saying. But evidently not so much. Because we're still broke. We're still broke. We're actually worse off now. I'm hoping this new guy will do a better job, but honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't really know dick about him. I stopped following all that shit because it just got to a point where I don't care anymore. I don't care. I won't bother voting. I won't. I'm sorry, I won't. And here's why. I have tried to vote before. I actually voted way back when, during the whole Bush versus Kerry thing. And my guy didn't get elected, and I don't necessarily mean Kerry. I'm not going to name names because it doesn't matter. It wasn't even the fucking point. I wasn't even a member of that party. I just believed in my heart of hearts that the person I voted for would have done the best job. And they didn't get elected. And I didn't take that personally. I just thought, okay, well, not enough people voted for him. And then they started to show this shit on the fucking news that was totally fucking confusing. This is back when that whole red state, blue state bullshit started. And it was fucking confusing. The votes were off. First off, I don't know if anybody else remembers this. Like the whole thing with the new voting system was all tangled up, and realistically, Kerry won that election. In all actuality, he had the most votes, and that's what it should be. By the way, it shouldn't be, well, they won this blue state or won that red state. Fuck that shit. Who got the most votes total? Period. It should be that fucking simple. It shouldn't be about parties. It should be about who has the most people that believe they can do the job. Period. Parties shouldn't fucking matter. They shouldn't. They shouldn't fucking matter. And to my people in like the Midwest and down south and shit that think spending billions of dollars of fucking taxpayer money, our fucking money, to build a wall on what is quite frankly the wrong fucking border. You think that shit is a good idea? Then you're either racist, xenophobic, or uneducated. That's the only things in my head that would explain that. Because you need to realize something too, and I know I'm talking to people that don't care about history here, but this whole country was founded by immigrants. Whole thing. Immigrants. You think George Washington was born here? He wasn't. He was born in fucking England. Along with Benjamin Franklin and the rest of those guys. You think my people were fucking born here? No. We were the first people here. But we didn't start here. We came from Asia Minor and crossed the fucking land bridge before it dropped off into the ocean. But we were here first. Do you seriously fucking think that anybody from back then, anybody, what do you think George Washington would think about our fucking country right now? Do you think he'd be proud, or do you think he'd hang his head in fucking shame? I can guarantee it'd be the second choice. Guarantee it. You know why? Because of one concept and one concept only. He might have even been on board with the whole Reservation Act. He might have been on board with the destruction of my people. He might have been on board with that. He might not have. I don't know. But one thing I do know for fucking certain, that he would not ever be able to wrap his fucking mind around, is how there are fucking homeless veterans in our country. This is not okay, people. This cannot fucking stand. Do you know why? Here's a little fucking concept I'm going to explain to you. Whether you agree with the military ever going to fight anybody or not, regardless of what your fucking political views are, doesn't fucking matter. Because at the end of the day, our country remains fucking free because people fucking put their lives on the line for it. You think freedom's free, motherfucker? No, it isn't. No, it isn't. You know who paid for it? Veterans like me. Veterans like my fucking grandfather. And my great-grandfather. Veterans going all the way back to the American fucking Revolution paid with blood, sweat, and tears so that you dumbass motherfuckers can walk around with cell phones in your hands, spreading fucking hate at everybody you see on social media. You have that fucking freedom because of them. The fucking least you could do is get these motherfuckers off the street. You can't tell me that nobody fucking out there has an idea how to address the problem of homelessness among combat veterans. You can't fucking do that. You cannot explain that away. You cannot for one fucking second fucking minimize that shit either. It is a real fucking problem. These are people that fucking sacrificed and laid everything on the fucking line so you can breathe free fucking air, and you can't give them a fucking dollar for a meal? Fuck you. You should be ashamed of yourselves, and I don't give a shit what your fucking party is. Shit, now you're talking about fucking money. Give them some fucking food. Offer them a fucking place to sleep. Even if it's a fucking tent in your backyard, which, by the way, I have fucking done. It's fucking disgusting how we treat our fucking veterans. It really is. And I guess it's because of that fucking reason I shouldn't be shocked by anything else. Because there's so much bullshit going on right now. And by the way, a little side note here. I want to give props out to a couple people. For starters, I want to give props out to first responders. Because the job you do is amazing, and it's not ever going to be appreciated enough. There isn't enough time or love in the world to appreciate it as much as it should be. Also, I want to send some love out to our medical professionals during this time that have honestly kicked ass all over COVID. And I've made it very well known what my stance is on this whole thing. I'm not a COVID denier at all. I'm not. And I'm not even an anti-vaxxer, to be honest with you. I just have a better argument than most people that are anti-vaccine. Because to me, it's not about whether or not the vaccine works. I know that it does. I've seen it work. My whole thing is, and I honestly believe this, I could actually somewhat kind of prove it. I think natural antibodies, your body's own ability to fight diseases off, is always that those antibodies that are generated naturally by being exposed to stuff, is always going to end up being stronger than whatever you get from a vaccine. I've had doctors agree with that, by the way. And I'm by no means saying don't go get the vaccine. If you are totally comfortable with not getting vaccinated, at least don't let it be for some stupid reason because some fucking airhead fucking buys into this. Well, it causes autism in children. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Vaccines do not do that. In fact, there's absolutely no study anywhere ever done showing a link at all between autism and anything medical. including vaccines. And I know Jenny McCarthy is actually a lovely human being, and I'm sure her heart's actually in the right place. But she's not a doctor. She doesn't know what she's talking about when it comes to that. She's not. And I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about with my stance of anybody's, but I've had doctors agree with me, so I kind of feel like it gives me more validation. Anyways, so all the love in the world to our medical professionals. They do a very hard job too. Even before it, and most definitely after COVID, the job they do is underappreciated. You know, it truly is, because, I mean, just look at the hours they work, for starters. They work ridiculous hours. I don't know how you do that as a human being, honestly. I couldn't do it. You know, and then you add to the fact that these are people who are specialized in a field where, like, mistakes get people killed. And these people, these loving, wonderful people, are not running for the hills at every fucking opportunity every single day. You understand what I mean? Like they're highly trained, but they're in a field where a mistake could kill somebody, and they might get scared a little bit by that, but not enough that it stops them from doing the job. That astounds me. I'm very proud of medical professionals in my own family. I could never in a million years do that job, not because I'm not capable of understanding what they do, but because I could never, work those hours like they do, because I don't understand how you work like 24-hour shifts and then, first of all, do that and you're not just falling over all the fucking time. And secondly, how you even while you're absolutely fucking exhausted, have the mental wherewithal to actually be able to mentally know what to do in those situations. That astounds me. And I love it. I could never be that, but I love it. And I also want to give a shout out to Michael Rosenbaum. I recently discovered his podcast, Inside You. I know, it's hilarious. But Inside You, and you can get that on Spotify or iHeart or whatever. You can just look it up online, and I'm sure it'll show you all the different ways you can get it. But Michael Rosenbaum was Lex Luthor on the TV show Smallville. He's also been in several movies. Personally, my favorite part was the part he played in a movie called Hit and Run, opposite Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell. Anyways, absolutely hilarious. He's absolutely a funny guy and a great musician, and he has this podcast where, they talk about shit like that, about, like, how much they, like, different things, different aspects of what they're dealing with during this era of COVID. So shout out to them, and also shout out to, another podcast called, Fake Doctors, Real Friends. Hosted by, I guess you could say, Zach Braff and Mr. Faison. Hope I said that right. Donald Faison. Faison? How do you say it? Who played Turk and JD in the TV show Scrubs, that have really kind of shined a light on these medical professionals and what a fantastic job they do. So, Lots of love to you guys. I don't know if you listen to this show or not, but there you go. Anytime I could put it out there, I will. But until next time, my pack, my tribe, peace out.